Got swept away right into the sea there. Quite a tough wind that was blowing a bit earlier, but it has cleared up, Leanne, so I am very dry at the moment. Now, we're talking, of course, about Durban tourism, about the strategy that they're unveiling today going forward. And you mentioned a bit earlier that people often flock in numbers, in droves, if I can say that, to the coast during festive season and December holidays. And this year will be no exception, of course. And we're just trying to find out how they're going to harness that. I know Durban trying to be a smart city, they said, and also a city where they double their numbers in tourism. And of course, you know, tourism is not just about rest and relaxation and recreation as we like to think it is. It's also big business. It's got a lot to do with money. So let's take a look at that angle for now. We're going to speak to Mr. Clive Mangli. He is the president of the South Africa Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Mr. Mangli, a huge pleasure to have you with us. Thanks again for joining us.
Good morning, Ayanda.
You heard the Durban business strategy, or at least I should say the Durban tourism strategy. As business, what is your opinion?
Well, firstly, I think the eThekwini municipality, the city of Durban, has to be commended for having a plan, and certainly which is why we're here to give support to that. But there are a few things that are worth mentioning that are pleasing to us as a business. And firstly, it's the clarity of the plan. And that the intention is to double the international number of visitors by 2020, increase the number of domestic visitors by about 70%. So in total, it is looking at moving the visitor numbers from 3.7 to about 5 to 6 million rands by 2020. And that is pleasing to know that you're working towards a clear plan, and it allows every party in the equation to know what it is that they have to do. But also pleasing to us is that it is aligned to the national or country vision, the NDP, which in itself enjoys significant business support in its development, and we're quite anxious for it to be developed. And so we see what the city of Durban is doing here as part of that national plan, the implementation at least of the NDP.
Now, you've mentioned all the things that you're pleased with, but what are you perhaps a little weary of? I mean, and if you could sit down with the powers that be and give them your direct input, what would you tell them to change or tweak or perhaps add or minus?
Something that we often underscore, I mean, at least underplay, is certainty. So if anything, the message to the city political principals would be to say, let's ensure that there's certainty in the leadership behind the vision, certainty in ensuring that this it is a medium to long-term plan, and so therefore it means we have to stick to it to ensure that we achieve it by 2020. And that goes the same with the NDP, that you have to ensure that there's certainty of the plan and that there's certainty on the people behind the plan. Also, I think, which the city's strategy document does, is that it appreciates the role of business. Any initiative, any plan to drive the growth of economy, the growth of a sector, has to be done together with business, or at least anchored on business. And the city has been quite welcoming to business contribution in the development of the plan, and certainly a business's role in the implementation of the plan, and much importantly, the achievement of the 2020 targets.
Now, this time of year, going towards the festive season, is always a big one when it comes to business and commerce. A lot of sales are expected, but also the downside is that a lot of crime also takes place, in business-related crime to be exact. Going into this particular festive season, your advice to business?
Look, firstly, business contributes quite significant sums of money towards the fiscus, which finances the safety and security within the country. And so for that, business has an expectation that would have a functioning, a strong security system in South Africa, in the SAPS. And so we're always looking at a performing SAPS in the country. But of course, business, with the realities that we face, has had to invest quite significant amount of money in safety and security around their businesses. And we hope that at some point we'll find a happy median where, through the taxes that we pay, we don't need to invest the significant sums of money towards security. If we are, then we enjoy some tax benefits for that work. And I think the other important thing to mention around safety and security is that there's a close relationship between it and the levels of unemployment that we have in the country. And so what we hope we'll be able to achieve with this tourism plan is that we'll be able to increase the number of small businesses, we'll be able to increase the number of quality, decent jobs, which we know will significantly reduce the level of crime in the country. And so as we go into the festive season, of course, we urge all businesses to be cautious, particularly those that deal with the movement of cash, and that they employ security measures around those as we go into the festive season.
Now, Councillor James Nxumalo, the mayor of eThekwini, calling on South Africans to come in their numbers to Durban. Also, other officials encouraging travel during the holiday time. But with that travel, it takes a lot of money. And I know stores are also asking people to come and spend money to buy Christmas gifts. But we know there is a concern in consumer spending that there could be a lull or a slump this time of year. What are you predicting on that field?
Look, I'm not an economist, so I'm not going to venture into predicting what the spend is going to be over this festive season, except to say that let's improve decent quality jobs. Let's ensure that we tap into the Africa story, the potential of the visitors from the north in the continent. If we allow those to come in, certainly we'll see an increase in the spending there and change our negative attitude towards our sister country visitors. Of course, also not losing sight of the international visitor market. And that means ensuring that as the citizenry of Durban, we remain welcoming as we are, we remain a pleasant people that we are.
My thanks to you. Thank you so much for joining us. And I must reveal a small little secret, Mr. Magni. He lives in Durban. He travels for business, but he says he would not picture himself living anywhere. So he doesn't mind the inconvenience of commuting to Joburg and back every now and again because he's a Durban boy through and through. And I've heard quite a few people say that. So maybe I'm missing something. Maybe this side of the country is where I need to be looking into. Well, thank you so much. Let's leave it there for now. Back to you in studio. More in just a moment.